Here was your opportunity to do the right thing. Preston gave you the opportunity to step up and do the right thing for the clients. After you've literally done everything wrong, this is your chance to do it right, and you're saying, no, you're not going to do it right. That's what's the problem with the society today, is nobody wants to step up and do the right thing. Are you Abdo?
Yeah.
How's it going today?
Not bad.
Give me just a second here. So I want to go over a couple of things with you out here, then I want to go inside. All right, I was hired by the client to come do this inspection. She doesn't feel like she got good workmanship. And so the first place I started was going over the contracts, agreements, prices for everything. And I think we could both agree that you charge top dollar for this work. Okay, when I was going through there, when she said $15,000 for these gutters.
Not gutters. Siding, soffit, and gutters.
She was pointing out on the contract where it's 15 grand. What was the component of the gutters? What was the amount? Okay. And that's why I'm glad you're here.
1/2-inch foam insulation, vinyl soffit, fascia, aluminum wrap, install vinyl siding, install seamless white gutters.
Okay, she was pointing out that the $15,000 was for the gutters itself.
Yeah, it's all this.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that, so it's good that you're here. All right, so question number one. Did you do all the work, or did you subcontract this house?
Sub a lot of it.
Okay, so who did the siding on the house?
I did the siding.
Okay.
My son did it.
So the question I have for you, right here at this wall,
Okay.
you have the J channel right against the shingles. What's the proper reveal and clearance for siding on shingles?
There is a stack flashing, so it goes a 3-inch this way.
But I'm asking what the proper clearance for the reveal is. When you put vinyl siding right up against the shingles like this, there is supposed to be an 1 3/4 clearance between the shingles and that J channel. I want you to tell me what the proper pitch of a gutter is supposed to be. What's the proper pitch of a gutter?
According to the roof, it's pitched that way.
But how? What's the proper pitch? What's the formula?
I didn't do gutters.
But you're the general contractor on this, right?
But like I said, I hired, it's called a professional gutter installer. So.
Okay, but my point is, as a general contractor, the buck stops with you. You are responsible for all your subs.
I got it.
Okay, so you can't blame it on your subs.
Nope.
If I was the general on this job, I would be walking around checking all the stuff that I checked last night. Now, you have a formula here, okay? How many downspouts do you need for what's the maximum run of a gutter for downspouts? 1 downspout for every 40 feet. Now I want to talk about the chimney. I looked it up last night. It looks like you're a member of the fire department. Is that right? You and your brother?
Yeah.
As a fireman, this house caught on fire. You're here to do fire damage repair, right? You're part of the fire department. And when I asked you last night what the proper clearance of a chimney above the roof was, you couldn't tell me.
I don't do chimneys.
But you did the roof, you did the trusses, you did the construction.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to you. I'm going to show you a picture of this. What is the clearance of that chimney? You have maybe 1 inch? What is that, maybe 2 inches? As a fireman, that was troubling to me last night that number one, you're fixing a house that caught on fire. You're a fireman, but you didn't know the proper clearance of a chimney, and it's supposed to follow the 3-2-10 rule. That's a very common formula that almost every contractor in the world should know, especially for a house that caught on fire. So you put the new trusses in and built the new roof and never had a conversation with her to tell her that her chimney is now improper clearance of the roof itself. What if they would have lit a fire in that fireplace and caught this house on fire again? Now you understand I'm actually here trying to help you. I'm not just here trying to help her, because what you have now created is actually a fire hazard. So I mean, what's your response so far? Because what I saw yesterday was I saw a total price paid of $187,000 for work that is, so far we agree, isn't great. Do we agree on that?
This is fixable still.
It's fixable, but we agree that this work is not good, right?
I'm not going to say it's not good.
You think this is good? You're going to defend this work? Do you think this is wonderful? Because we've only gotten started. It gets worse from here. If we stand back, that chimney up there, What's the proper flashing for a chimney?
Step and counter flash, yeah.
Step and counter flashing. What do you see right now?
Yeah.
All right, now I want to show you what that looks like because it's raining today and I don't think any of us are excited about walking up there, and I'm happy to. But do you see that picture of the sealant that you guys put around the chimney? Do you see a gap right there? Do you think water's going in there? It is like that all the way up that chimney. So we can both agree that I'm here actually helping you right now because water is about to damage all your brand new construction, insulation, drywall, everything, because you guys didn't properly flash the chimney. You just put some caulking around it and called it good. All right, so do we agree that's not good workmanship?
That's not.
Okay.
Missing flashing.
It's missing flashing, yeah, and it's really terrible. All right, now let's take a nice little gander at your ridge vent. If you want to go up there and take a closer look at that, it is wavy enough to surf on. Does that look like nice workmanship to you? I go across there and I say $187,000. They could have at least used a handful of nails to properly fasten down the ridge vent, which isn't properly fastened, and there's no nails in your ridge cap shingles.
What do you mean there's no nails?
Want to climb up there? I'm happy. Let's go up there. Let's go on up. Does this look properly fastened to you? This is an end shingle. This is supposed to have nails with sealant on it because wind is going to catch this.
So is this nail?
That nail works. Where's the nail here?
Is this nail?
That nail works.
So
this is an end shingle. It's supposed to have fasteners on it, okay? Now why is this not properly nailed down? Why is it so wavy? And where's the shingles for the ridge cap there?
Yeah, we were short on that one, so.
You were short on that one.
Okay.
How long does it take to put ridge cap shingles on a roof?
Ridge caps?
Yeah, those are the ridge shingles. How long does that take? Maybe 15 minutes?
Yeah.
How long has it been like that?
It's not leaking. I mean, it's.
My question to you is,
I would put it, definitely, because I got it. We just did the same.
your defense on that is that it's not leaking.
Yeah.
If this was your house and you paid $187,000, would you be happy with this work?
I would.
You'd be happy with this?
Yeah.
You'd think this is good for almost 200 grand?
Yeah.
You know that I can buy a house in this region with an acre lot for $200,000. All right, so what we're talking about isn't an insignificant amount of money. Do you see the stack vent right there?
Stock vent?
Yeah, your boot flashing right there. All right, tell me right now what the proper flashing is supposed to look like on that. This is a brand new roof. Does that look like it's properly installed to you?
You open on the bottom.
Where's the apron on the bottom?
Some people do it this way, some people.
No. That right there is improper. You can't just say some people do it this way. You know, some people, spray foam all over things and call it done. This is not a proper installation of your flashing boot. So 2/3 of that flashing is supposed to be on top of the shingles. And so what I'm getting a sense of today, what I was really hoping is I was hoping you would show up and I was hoping that you would say, yeah, this is crap work. We're going to come in and make it right.
Like I said, I want to make it right.
Okay.
I really, that was never a question. And I texted her, I want to make both sides happy. We want to go through all that, make a punch list, and we want to go through all that. But
I would have loved to have seen that today. You brought your pen, you brought your folder. I would have loved to have seen you take notes and say, yeah, Preston, you're right. This is crap. We're going to come over and make this right away. We're going to take care of this right away. And what I heard from you is some people do it that way. This is okay. Yes, I'd be happy with this.
Like I said, some people do, some, do other way, but most, like I said, what I see other, roofers, they do this way. I was okay with it.
Let me be the first to educate you on this.
If you say,
if you're a general contractor, let me tell you that 100% of the time, that is the wrong way to install a flashing boot. 100% of the time, that is never proper. They do this on second layers quite often because it's easier to seal it and call it done. But do you see the sealant on your chimney over there? Why don't you go over there and take a look at that and tell me why sealant is a bad option as permanent flashing. How's that look to you? Does that look like, would you be happy with that on your roof?
Not really.
Not really, yeah, me neither. So this is the reason every single day we tell people that sealant is not a permanent solution. Sealant is never acceptable as a flashing sealant. It is always used, because what you've done now is you've created a situation where the homeowner now has to have her roof inspected every 2 or 3 years and reapplied sealant every 2 or 3 years. If you had step flashed and counter flashed the chimney and had proper clearance of the chimney, she would have been able to live with this for 30 years with no maintenance. So we can go ahead and go back down, because now we got to go inside and go over the bigger issues. I'm telling you, we're only getting started. Remember yesterday I told you this was some of the worst work I've ever seen? I wasn't joking. On your estimate and agreement, you did 2 things that have put you into legal liability right now. Number 1, you said mold remediation, $2,500.
Not remediation.
Or you said mold
treatment.
Mold treatment, okay. We're in the state of New York. The use of the word mold is a violation of law. Do you want me to tell you why? I'm an inspector. I see mold every day of my life, and I'm not allowed to say that's mold. I have to say that's a possible mold-like substance. Do you want me to tell you why? Only a licensed mold assessor in the state of New York can say something is mold. Only a licensed mold assessor with the ELAP program. It is illegal to tell somebody that that is mold. You have to say it's a possible mold-like substance. In the state of New York, a mold assessor has to come in and assess the mold, send a lab sample, get a report that says, yes, that is mold, and then a mold remediation contractor comes in. They also have to be licensed by the state, separate licensure. They have to do the remediation, and then guess what? The mold assessor has to come back after the fact and do another test to make sure they remediated it properly. You violated 2 different state laws by charging them $2,500 to spray something on mold. Now, I would like to ask you, on this brand new subfloor that we pulled up today, does that look like mold to you right here? Let me be the first to tell you that there is a possible black mold-like substance all the way underneath the subfloor. Okay? All of that right there is coming from this other subfloor that is soaking wet. And I look underneath here, and you guys have thrown your trash for the electrical, just thrown it under there, called it good, covered up the floor, never put her hatch back in. But what I would love for you to do now, and you are welcome to use my flashlight, I would like you to stick your head under there and look what you guys did with the floor structure and tell me what your argument is in support of that. Really take a good look at your floor structure supports.
Yes, here.
Oh, look around. Look all the way under there. You're going to find 2x4s, 2x2s, and then there's one rotten stick that somebody used to prop up the floor structure. Let me ask you, does any of that look right?
We never touched that.
You never touched that. Those look like brand new 2x4s to me. All right.
We never touched. This house was a remodeled flip house before they bought it. So whoever did it before, no, we didn't touch this part. I couldn't even go underneath.
You couldn't go underneath, even though there's a hatch right here that you covered up with brand new subfloor. All right.
I didn't go, I couldn't go.
Here's the bigger issue for you. Now that you put on record in a contract that you did mold treatment, you are now responsible for all the mold in this house, and there is mold all the way under this subfloor. So guess what we have to do now? It's called an invasive inspection. We have to cut the entire subfloor out of this house, pull it up and expose it, and see how bad the mold problem is. Why? Because somebody should have told the client that they needed to put a vapor barrier down, that they needed to fix the poor and negative grade, that they needed to actually do a good job with the roof drainage system to keep the water from going into this crawl space. And as soon as somebody put on record that they were going to do mold treatment, you are now responsible for this. This is a legal liability issue for you. All right? I can get into nitpicky stuff if you want to talk about why the client, number one, was told she had to pay for all the appliances. I went through the contracts. This was an insurance job. The insurance should have covered all that. I'm not going to put that on you. I got another phone call to make to the insurance company today. But I would like at least to know why her countertop and That stuff didn't get put back into this kitchen, and she's being told she has to pay for that out of pocket. And I want to remind you, this was $187,000 you charged for this job. How much did those cabinets and countertop cost? $700 or $800 out of pocket? Really? You're going to be that cheap and say, no, you got to pay for that yourself? We only charged you close to the value of buying another home somewhere else ready to live in, but you're not going to get a countertop cabinets or anything here in your kitchen. It's crazy. It's insane. All right. Hold on. Now what I would like you to do is I would like you to defend some of this. Come over here. Does that look like good drywall work to you? I would like to ask you if you would be happy with countertops with every corner damaged. Come over here to your cabinet install. Let's talk about your cabinet install for a second. Okay, look at the corner of that cabinet, that countertop right there. Does that look good to you? No. Look underneath here. Does this look like good workmanship? Install of your cabinets. Just run some construction screws through the bottom flange. But it gets worse. Look underneath here. Broken cabinet. Go ahead and open that cabinet door. Please open that door. Tell me if you think that's nice.
Which one?
Yeah, that one. To the left. The other one. Okay, go ahead and close it. Close it. Okay, open it and close it a few times. Does that seem good to you? $187,000. She has chipped up countertops, crap drywall job, and let me show you how crappy your drywall job is. Let's start looking at, I don't know, were you guys just like short on sandpaper? Does that look good to you? That runs all the way down this wall. Look at the ridge of this ceiling and tell me why it wiggles all the way down and you guys couldn't even sand it straight. And again, I'm just going to keep reiterating, $187,000. I would expect top workmanship. Top workmanship. I wouldn't expect moldy subfloor. I wouldn't expect everything that you've done on the roof to be causing safety hazards and health hazards.
I have insurance in the business. I'll give you my policy. You guys go through my insurance. I'm insuring $1 million, so you guys go through that.
All right, so let me tell you why that's a cop-out. As a contractor, what you should be saying is, I'm sorry.
I am sorry. Definitely.
No, you're not. No, hold on. Let me get through this. You should be saying, I'm sorry, we're going to get a crew over here immediately to make this right. Because the minute you kick them over to your insurance, guess what they have to do now? Fight with your insurance on a claim. And the insurance is going to fight with them back and put their lawyers on it so that they can't actually get a claim paid for something that right now, I think everybody in attendance agrees is 100% your responsibility. So I don't want to hear I have insurance, go fight with them for the money. What I want to hear is I'm going to get a crew over here immediately and we're going to fix everything that you just went over. And I'm going to call Preston and have him oversee the project and do phase inspections to make sure we actually get this done properly and right away before I go on vacation for 6 weeks.
How can you do this with no drawings and no permit? The instructional engineer was here yesterday. We don't have any documentation on the trusses. We have no idea if it's safe for snow load. You attach to the existing porch rails that was just supporting a handrail, and now it's supporting trusses. I have no idea if there's any 3 2x10s, 2x12s, whatever the structural engineer would say, and it's finished. How do you do that? How do you answer me? How do you do that to us after everything we've been through and how much we've paid you and how quickly we paid you out of pocket? This is what we get. How do you
my question for you is, what's your argument for this? Yesterday when I talked to you on the phone, I said this was some of the worst work I've seen. There's some of the biggest problems I've seen here. You understand that mold is toxic, right? Did you see the 3 different types of mold colors that are underneath this floor? There is a lot of mold underneath here. And as a contractor, even if you weren't responsible, even if that mold was there when you showed up, you have a fiduciary responsibility to these clients to do what's in the best interest of them and their health. Somebody should have told them, you have a moisture problem, you have mold underneath that floor, you should get somebody out here to take care of that right away. Not, hey, here's a bill for $2,500 for us to spray some stuff on some mold.
Which is right here.
Okay? First of all, I will tell you right now, you are not qualified to repair, treat, or handle mold. You are not qualified. Mold is a very tricky thing. It's toxic. It causes health problems. That is not something you should be charging somebody $2,500 to handle. Not only is it illegal, it's unethical, it's immoral. You put their health at risk in so many different ways, including having a fire risk on a chimney. As a member of the fire department, you didn't know what the proper chimney clearance was. You didn't think to have a conversation with them to say your chimney is unsafe? Look, I'll build you the roof or the ceiling any way you want, but your chimney doesn't have proper clearance? That would have been a good conversation to have. What if they would have died in this house because of the shoddy work that was done on the roof? How would you feel about that? You want to know why I'm animated right now is because I take that stuff seriously. Yeah, so
This is our home.
I would love to hear you say, we're going to come over and pull up all this floor. We're going to hire a real mold remediation company to come in and remediate the mold and solve the problem before we put the floor back in. And Preston, I'm going to have you oversee the project so that we make sure it gets done right. Are you willing to agree to that?
Not now.
Not now?
I can't, before August.
All right, well, have it your way. Have it your way, because...
So what do we do until fucking August?
So this, I'm going to let you know right now, just so that you know, this is going to go out to social media today. Okay? This isn't going to go well because there are going to be a lot of people looking at this going, here was your opportunity to do the right thing. Preston gave you the opportunity to step up and do the right thing for the clients. After you've literally done everything wrong, this is your chance to do it right. And you're saying, no, you're not going to do it right until August. These people have been living in an RV since December.
No,
We've been
we
renting.
have to
Because of him, we now have to live in
But what I'm saying is they're in a financial bind. They're living in an RV in the backyard. They own this beautiful home that is now uninhabitable. They're not even able to get a CO to live in here. They're having to hire structural engineers because of you. 100% because of you. And this is your opportunity to say, you know what? We're going to make this right. That's wrong. I screwed up. This is your chance. I'd like to hear Avdo talk about that. I mean, there's so many things. I could go over more stuff with you.
I have to go over all of it.
I mean, Avdo, let's come over here and look at this, right? You see any problems under that sink? Look under there. Tell me if you see any problems. Are S-traps proper under a sink? Pop quiz for you. Is an S-trap a proper way to plumb a sink? Or does code require a P-trap? I can keep going. There's more. I mean, there's lots of stuff here. I'm pumping the brakes because this is your opportunity to talk. You didn't say much last night. You didn't say much today. You're here right now. This is your opportunity to accept responsibility and make it right instead of taking the low road and pitching them off to your insurance. Now, I'm putting skin in the game. I'm offering to come and do phase inspections and oversee the job with you. I'm doing that for free. I'm not charging a dime for that. I'll come back here 10 times if I have to. You and I could end this whole thing with a handshake and say, job well done, thank you for doing the right thing. Or you can just choose to do the wrong thing and not advocate for your clients. You understand they're your clients, right? These are your customers. Is this how you want to treat your customers? I want to ask you, would you like to be treated this way?
Like I said, like I can come late. I can come. I'm coming back on July 31st. I can bring a crew. We can fix. We're gonna start.
What stops you from bringing your crew today? Why can't you have a crew here in 3 hours?
I can't.
Why? Why can't you have a crew here first thing tomorrow morning?
Why isn't anybody here now?
No, listen, I know the reason. I'm a businessman also. I also have a home improvement company. I do what you do. That is why I'm standing here telling you, I know very well, I'm very qualified to tell you, this is shit work. Now, the reason you can't have a crew here tomorrow, we all know this. Every person watching this video is gonna know it's because you got guys at another job and you love making that money and it's gonna be expensive for you to come make this right. You're going to have to pull guys off another job to come over here and make the job that you did wrong right. But that is the right thing to do. And that is what's problem with the society today, is nobody wants to step up and do the right thing. I'm willing to tell you, I understand you're a working class person just like they are, just like I am. We're all struggling. We all have to make a lot of money. We all have bills to pay. But right now, you're screwing another working class family. We're supposed to be in the same boat working together, not screwing each other.